he may pardon those, if he were elected in 2024, those who were part of the January 6 riots. Given that, can you imagine any circumstances where you could support his election in 2024?
Well, we're a long ways from 2024, but let me say this. I do not think that President Trump should have made that pledge to do pardons. We should let the judicial process proceed.
You say we're
January
a long way away
6th
from...
was a dark day in our history.
And it was, and you voted to convict President Trump as well. Why can't you rule out supporting him in 2024?
Well, certainly it's not likely, given the many other qualified candidates that we have that have expressed interest in running. So it's very unlikely.
There's no place in either political party for this white nationalism or racism. It's simply wrong. It's as you've indicated, speaking of evil, it's evil as well. And you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Paul Gosar, I don't know them, but I'm reminded of that old line from the Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid movie, where one character says, "Morons, I've got morons on my team." And I have to think anybody that would sit down with white nationalists and speak at their conference was certainly missing a few IQ points.
The committee has firsthand testimony now that he was sitting in the dining room next to the Oval Office watching the attack on television as the assault on the Capitol occurred. We know, as you know well, that the briefing room at the White House is just a mere few steps from the Oval Office. The president could have at any moment walked those very few steps into the briefing room, gone on live television, and told his supporters who were assaulting the Capitol to stop. He could have told them to stand down. He could have told them to go home. And he failed to do so. It's hard to imagine a more significant, a more serious dereliction of duty than that.
Is his failure to make that statement criminal negligence?
You know, I think that there are a number of, as the chairman said, potential criminal statutes at issue here, but I think that there's absolutely no question that it was a dereliction of duty. And I think one of the things the committee needs to look at as we're looking at a legislative purpose is whether we need enhanced penalties for that kind of dereliction of duty. But I think it's also important for the American people to understand how dangerous Donald Trump was. We know as he was sitting there in the dining room next to the Oval Office, members of his staff were pleading with him to go on television, to tell people to stop. We know Leader McCarthy was pleading with him to do that. We know members of his family. We know his daughter. We have firsthand testimony that his daughter Ivanka went in at least twice to ask him to please stop this violence. Any man who would not do so, any man who would provoke a violent assault on the Capitol to stop the counting of electoral votes, any man who would watch television as police officers were being beaten, as his supporters were invading the Capitol of the United States, is clearly unfit for future office, clearly can never be anywhere near the Oval Office ever again.
Hillary Clinton said a couple of weeks ago that if he runs and wins, that could be the end of our democracy. Do you share that fear?
I do. I think it is critically important, given everything we know about the lines that he was willing to cross. He crossed lines no American president has ever crossed before. You know, we entrust the survival of our republic in. The president needs to tell people in the Capitol to go home. This is hurting all of us. He is destroying his legacy. Laura Ingraham. Please get him on TV. Destroying everything you have accomplished. Brian Kilmeade. Can he make a statement? Ask people to leave the Capitol. Sean Hannity. He's got to condemn this shit ASAP. The Capitol Police tweet is not enough. Donald Trump Jr. texted. Meadows responded, quote, I'm pushing it hard. I agree. Donald Trump Jr. texted again and again, urging action by the president. Quote, we need an Oval Office address. He has to lead now. It has gone too far and gotten out of hand.
I recall way too many details that when I decided enough was enough, when President Trump didn't do it, I immediately set up a video with my series called The Fictional President, demanding the insurrectionists leave. And within moments, I don't know how the heck this happened, within moments after my video was uploaded, people started to leave the Capitol.